All right, friends, you know the rules. 10 minutes. We're keeping it tight. The Draft Ranking Show. I'm Cody Carpentier here every single day at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. I cannot thank all of you enough. We're literally pressing towards 5,000 subscribers. It's grown immensely over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I was trying to shoot for 1,000 by the draft, and we're almost at 5,000. I think that's going to be probably the goal for the draft this time. And it's been awesome. It's been a good ride. We're going to continue to grow this community, and I can't thank you all enough for tapping in every single day. It's been quite literally awesome. Can't thank you enough. All right, we did a 10-minute full first round mock draft. I don't know, 3 weeks ago. Got good reviews, so we're going to do it again. Full first round, all 32 selections, and I might throw a trade or two in here depending on how things fall. We now have 9 minutes and 10 seconds to get in before the 10-minute mark, so let's jump into it. Again, not going to be a lot of analysis here. You can find the rest of this mock. This particular mock is going to be over at Player Profile. I'm going to run through this thing, and then I'm going to post it tomorrow with a second round on playerprofiler.com, so you can go check that out. All right, let's get into this damn thing, and let's start out here at number 1 overall. Number 1 overall, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started off with the man that every mock needs to start out with. That's Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami. Number 2 overall, the Cleveland Browns. To me, it's between two players. It's between Shedeur Sanders and Abdul Carter. If the Browns want to click that button, they will. If they don't, they won't. They'll go get Kirk Cousins. I think they take Abdul Carter here at 2. At 3, I know the Giants have Russ and they have Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito, but that's not a lot of money to the quarterback position. They go get Shedeur Sanders. This is people say it's a bad process to go after a guy that's going to protect your job, but this is what this does. It protects Dayball's job. It protects Joe Shane's job if they see a little bit of success. The Patriots on the clock at number 4. They either trade down or they stand pat and take Travis Hunter. That's a run up, smash the button. He comes in, plays wide receiver 1 opposite of Stephon Diggs, and starts at cornerback opposite of Christian Gonzalez. My favorite selection in top 5, I'm not going to come off of it probably for the duration. Mason Graham from the Michigan Wolverines goes 5 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 6, I've pivoted. I was on Armand Membu here. A lot of people hate my picks for the Raiders. I've heard that for the last couple of days. 6, we're going to go Will Johnson. Will Johnson's pro day is coming up, and Will Johnson's going to get the flat circle bounce back into the top 10. Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan, goes 6th overall to the Raiders. Number 7 is our guy Armand Membu to play right tackle for the New York Jets, opposite of Olu Fashanu. Absolutely love this move for the Jets. Number 8, I love Jalen Walker here, but we're going to go Jahdae Barron to play opposite of J.C. Horn. This is a really good duo if J.C. Horn can stay healthy. Jahdae Barron has risen quite a bit through the pre-draft process. The Thorpe winner from Texas. Number 9 overall, you got Will Campbell on the board. You got Kelvin Banks on the board. You got wide receiver. You got running back. A lot of options here. New Orleans is going to stay in Louisiana. They're going to take Will Campbell to come play tackle or guard. They're just going to get him in the building and build this thing the right way. The Bears are back on the clock here. They're not back on the clock. They're on the clock for the first time at 10. And to me, a lot of people want to talk about Ashton Jeanty, but the person that everyone's been quiet on, and everyone says this, but they always forget about certain players when it comes to context. If nobody's talking about somebody in NFL draft circles, that means everybody wants somebody. I don't think Kelvin Banks makes it out of the top 10. Kelvin Banks, the left tackle, the All-American that started as a true freshman for Texas, goes to the Bears. Number 11 overall, the Niners are an interesting spot. They could do a lot of things. I think Ashton Jeanty is quite interesting here. I'm going to open up the trade market, though, and I'm going to ask the Pittsburgh Steelers if they want to come on down to, or they want to come on up to 11. It's going to take at least a second-round pick next year, probably a later pick like 156, 123, something like this. We're going to go 156 here. We're going to give them the offer. Again, these aren't exact trades. This is just ballpark trades. It's going to take a second, potentially a second this year instead of a second next year, and then maybe a fifth or sixth, fourth, fifth, sixth in 2026. Something like this is the ballpark target here. The Steelers go up to pick 11, and they take Jackson Dart for this iteration. We're just playing games here. They don't have Aaron Rodgers as of recording, but the expectation is they get Aaron Rodgers. But I think Dart adds a interesting twist. Jeanty is a smash button for the Cowboys here. I know they have Javonte and Miles Sanders, but if he falls to 12, he doesn't fall further. The Miami Dolphins take Tyler Booker. I think 2 players that make the most sense for the Dolphins. Tyler Booker on the inside, Will Campbell at tackle. So Campbell's gone, so we're going to go ahead and take Booker from Alabama. All right, where's he at on this board here? Booker. All right, at pick 14, we got to start cooking here. What marker are we at for time? Where's our time? Where's our time? Our time is at 5 minutes. That's not bad. We're doing pretty good at pick 14 here for the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to take the tight end. The tight end that nobody thinks is going to be available up to the top 10 is Tyler Warren. Everyone's looking at the Jets and things for Tyler Warren. We're going to take him at 14 for the Colts. 15 is going to be Jalen Walker, the edge slash linebacker for the Georgia Bulldogs. Michael Williams will be in conversation here, but we're going to see Jalen Walker go first. An interesting landing spot that I don't think anybody sees coming is the Cardinals taking a wide receiver in round 1, adding to that receiving core that they like Greg Dortch, they like Michael Wilson, but they need somebody that can stretch the field. Matthew Golden can do that a little bit better than Marvin Harrison. They need to allow Marvin Harrison to work inside a little bit, work on the flanker a little bit. This would be a sick duo, Marv and Matthew Golden in Arizona with Kyler Murray. I like it. Cincinnati Bengals start off an edge run here. We're going to see Shamar Stewart come off the board here at pick 17. They need edge. They need guard. They need interior. They can go any direction here. Michael Williams comes off the board to the Seattle Seahawks at pick 18. Again, edge, interior. There's not a great group of interior. Gray Zabel is the one guy right now. Donovan Jackson in conversations here, but you go edge. The edge is starting to run. Edge is where you run and take the value and take it before it falls off and you are stuck with a guy that's not quite to this Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, James Pierce level, who Pierce goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We don't want to end up with an Ezeruku, even though he's good. I don't think Mike Green's quite in this conversation. He'll probably come into the back end of this first round. We'll see what happens. But there's the runs. Shamar Stewart to the Bengals, Michael Williams to the Seahawks, and James Pierce to the Bucs. Now we got to cook through the 20s. Tet McMillan comes off at 20. I've heard comps to Cortland Sutton. Put him in Denver with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. See if they get a running back in the next round. This is all of a sudden a pretty potent offense here for Sean Payton as Cortland Sutton looks to be on the back end of his career. The Niners are on the clock after that trade down, and the guy that they wanted to begin with, they didn't want to reach for, was Kenneth Grant, but they get Kenneth Grant here at 21, just ahead of the Los Angeles Chargers and Mr. Harbaugh, who says, you know what, I would have taken Kenneth Grant, but you left me Colston Loveland, so I'm not going to complain, and I'll take him here at 22 to the Chargers. 23, we got the Green Bay Packers. They need corner. They drafted corner, feels like 7 out of 11 years over the course of the last decade. They're going to do it again. They're going to go cornerback here. Trey Amos is available. I think you see Azariah Thomas start to peek his head into the first round. Then real talk, not fake talk. Trey Amos is at a good pre-draft process here for the Packers and Ole Miss. Nick Emenwari. Few people have had as good of a pre-draft process as Nick Emenwari, a Super Saiyan athlete, a guy that's vaulted himself in round 1. The Vikings lost Cam Bynum in free agency. Harrison Smith is in his final season. Nick Emenwari is a versatile back-end player that can play in the box, can play out wide. He can do multiple things. Him and the Brian Flores defense is pretty sick. Houston Texans here at 25. They've added a bunch of, let's be honest with ourselves, not good offensive linemen this offseason, though they traded away Laramie Tunsil. Josh Simmons is at play here. Gray Zabel's at play here. Josh Connerly's at play here. I'm going Zabel, a 5-tool player that can really just kind of fit in where you need to get in this Houston offensive line. All right, we're at pick 26 now with the Rams. Couple minutes left, so we got to burn through here. The Rams at pick 26, Jahad Campbell, the linebacker from Bama. 27, the Baltimore Ravens. I would have liked them in Worry here. I think you could also think about edge here, but I'm going to go Malachi Starks, a guy that's a first-round pick. He's fallen way too far. This is typical Raven-Eagle situation where they just get value for absolutely no reason. I'm going to go defensive line here for the Detroit Lions at pick 28. Walter Nolan's available, but Walter Nolan doesn't quite fit the personality of the Detroit Lions as much as a Derek Harmon does or a Darius Alexander. I think Alexander and Harmon are both plays here. I'm going to go Harmon here to join the Lions at pick 28. An interesting one. We haven't seen the second running back come off the board, but I think it happens at pick 29. It's kind of a toss-up for me between Amari Hampton and Trayvon Henderson. I think Henderson might fit this offense a little bit better, but I'm going to go Hampton here, the running back from North Carolina. At pick 30, the aforementioned Walter Nolan's coming off the board, and he's joining those feisty Buffalo Bills at pick 30. 2 picks left. The world champion and the reigning 2-time champion in the Kansas City Chiefs, who take Josh Connerly. They get an epic value here in Josh Connerly, the tackle from Oregon. You could also take Simmons. You could also take Donovan Jackson, who can play inside and outside. I think you take Connerly. He's a flat circle guy as well, who's fallen in round 2, but he belongs in the back half of round 1. And the final pick of our mock draft, our 10-minute mock draft, as we hit the 10-minute mark, is Luther Burden to play with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Don't tell me you don't love it. I love you. I appreciate y'all for tapping in every single day. This is the Draft Ranking Show with Cody Carpentier. 10 minutes on the nuts. You're welcome. See you later. Love you guys.